Hey folks, it's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. Today is Tuesday, October 20th, and in today's video, we're going to discuss Netflix earnings and the reaction from the earnings. We're also going to discuss some market news and events. We'll look at some broader sectors and some indices, and we'll look at Netflix and Snap as they did report earnings today. Netflix is down and Snap is up. So congrats to the bulls and bears in both directions, and we'll end it off with a summary on what I think is going to happen into the end of the week. So before we jump into it, guys, just make sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and tick the bell. You'll be notified when I go live next. So I said this today to quite a few people. I mentioned it in the community as well, that last time Netflix had earnings, it had a very, very poor reaction to the earnings, and they basically lowered their guidance. And we saw that yesterday in my video. I showed an article that basically said that they were going to be down on subscribers, and that's exactly what happened. They were lower on subscribers. It's the summertime. Who's really going to be watching Netflix during the summer if they weren't already doing it during the winter months and the spring? And they're talking about raising the subscription price in the States. We were in the height of the sickness and the global issue that was at hand, and they still had a poor negative earnings reaction. So we'll look at the chart in just a moment, but just taking a look into the numbers. So the EPS came in at 174 versus 214, so a huge miss there. Revenue was 6.44 versus 6.38, so they had a beat there. 2.2 million versus 3.7 million expected according to fact sheets. So those are the numbers. You can check out that article in its entirety if you want to know more. So taking a look at the next on the list, we have the stimulus update. So Pelosi says Dems and White House are moving closer to a stimulus deal and downplays the Tuesday deadline. So may have been a sell the news event, because we did see that the market started to sell off. And I did see an interesting article. I wasn't able to bring it up here, and out of time constraints, I will just briefly mention it. But there's a company in the United States essentially that has been trying to sell and liquidate their malls, their shopping malls, and basically nobody wants to buy it. And this is again reiterating my point that we have a global insolvency problem on our hands. And as you can see here, AMC warns of potential bankruptcy is on the table. So the AMC went from about, I think it was $35 stock. I'll just bring it up real quickly here. So it went from, AMC went from $35 pre-pandemic levels to, well, long before the pandemic. You can see here it was in, this is March, but this was once a $35 stock, $36 stock, and it's currently sitting at $3. And a lot of wealth destruction here on AMC. So feel bad for anybody that was holding this. It did have a nice run here from the lows, but again, I think this is going to be more of a common theme as we get further into this, and we're going to see more and more companies insolvency. It's potential to spill over into the central banking industry, you name it. So definitely don't go sleeping on that as well. And we did see that Melania Trump was canceling her rally due to her recovery. So again, you can check out this article in its entirety, but essentially she wasn't feeling well. Can't imagine Trump's too excited about that she decided to sit this one out, because he's trying to downplay it and make himself look invincible and trying to get the anti vaccinists, the anti-people on his side. And in my opinion, again, I mentioned it in my video from yesterday, it's smart, but this definitely goes against his strategy, in my opinion. And maybe we start to see a shift in Trump's health as well. Who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on it, but definitely something of concern here in terms of the health of the United States officials. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. So Trump and Biden will have mics muted as well as the last presidential debate. So everybody was probably ecstatic to hear that. And just want to let you guys know that the debate is on the 3rd. So we have 1, 2, 3, we have 2 weeks until the election, but we'll probably not get the results until the 10th or the 17th is my guess, because of the fact that it's a mail-in voting. But I did see that there's like 34 million Americans that have already voted. So there's only, you know, a little over 300 million people in the States. So that's quite a substantial amount of votes already. It was still 2 weeks to go before the election. And one thing I'll notice I did want to bring up as well is on gold, which I'll bring up in a moment, but it's in a descending triangle pattern on the weekly, and it may break out of that pattern within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And that lines up pretty darn well with the election results coming in. So if we take a look at gold on the weekly, again today, still respecting and holding below that downward sloping resistance line on the descending triangle pattern. So if we count this out, 1, 2, 3 is right at the crossroads, needs to do or die, and week 4 is going to be the 16th of November, which is a Monday. So again, that's essentially 4 weeks from now when we'll have the results. So maybe we get the results in 3 weeks, maybe we get it in 4, but essentially this is the most important chart for me right now, and going into the election, and basically refraining from any huge bullish positions as long as gold remains in this pattern. So I got a little sidetracked there, but I did want to highlight that because I thought that was important for you folks. Let me know in the comment below if you think that the descending triangle is going to break bear, bull. What's your outlook? I'd love to hear from you. Also, the Justice Department is to sue Google for antitrust violations on Tuesday, which we saw, and Google was down a little bit as a result. But there's also some articles saying that this is pretty much the exact identical report and case that they threw at Microsoft a while back. So we'll see if there's any development on that and how that all plays out. So other than that, couple last things I wanted to mention real quick. So GM's official run at Tesla starts with its electric Hummer debut Tuesday night. So that'll be this evening. So Tesla stock was down today, probably why, and all eyes on that debut tonight. Berkshire Hathaway to pay $4.1 million to settle alleged Iran sanction violations. Thought that was interesting as well. You can take a look at that article if you want to know more. So, and we do have the debate on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, which you can likely tune in on multiple different news sites, CNN, CNBC, likely CBC for Canada, for Canadian residents. So there you go. Now, next on the list, we'll take a look at SPY and QQQ. So SPY and QQQ yesterday confirmed a daily downtrend. Taking a look at the daily chart. So we did have a fairly bearish candle today with an upper wick, and we did close red just barely. We did have declining volume as well. So burden of proof today was on the bears because we needed to break the low of yesterday, which was 341.04, which we didn't do. So they sucker punched the bulls, but we didn't see the follow through. So burden of the proof was on the bears, and they didn't follow through. And we did see that the stimulus talks, the stimulus update came out about it potentially passing and could be passed by the end of the day. And we still didn't really see, so it was kind of lackluster in both directions from the bulls and the bears. But we did confirm a daily downtrend, both on SPY and QQQ. And we knew that we needed to change the hourly trend, step number 1, to be confident that the daily high or low is set. And you can see here that we lost this support trend line, and we changed the hourly trend into midday, intraday. And then once the stimulus news came out, it was essentially a sell the news event, and we saw that the sell volume started to pick up as well, and we closed near the low of the day. So very, very, in my opinion, it was very, very easy to anticipate, because if you didn't see this as already priced in when it's been months, known for months in advance, and it's going to happen eventually, right? They're not just going to let everything go to shambles. They're going to have to introduce some more stimulus at some point. So I think we need to, as traders and investors, we need to stop paying as much attention to the headlines and these known events, because they can come back to haunt you. And right now, the most important support, in my opinion, is the 342.60 level. So 342.63, 342.68. 342.64, 342, 343.03, 342.66. You get the idea. So there's a lot of support here, a base of support. So that'll be the most important for me going into tomorrow. And then obviously looking to continue that uptrend. But we are just looking for an hourly higher low. We did save the hourly uptrend. So we did have an hourly higher low down here at 342.66. So we did hold that. And now we're just looking for another higher low. Compared to that, how do we know when the hourly higher low is set? We look to the 5-minute and we look for a 5-minute trend change. And then that'll give us some more confidence that the hourly higher low is set. Then we'll look out to the 15-minute. Essentially, you get the picture. So moving on, we did have an hourly bear flag as well on DXY. So taking a look at the dollar this morning, we did have an hourly bear flag that confirmed perfectly, and we were rejecting at EMA 12, which acted as resistance for most of the day. And into the end of the day, we had a 30-minute bear flag that didn't follow through, that saw a higher low, and testing resistance here now. We'll see if bulls can get over that into the overnight trading session, but we did form a 5-minute lower high and lower low, so we are in a 5-minute downtrend. Now we're just looking to reverse that with bulls with a nice bounce here with a little bit of room to form another 5-minute higher low and change that 5-minute trend bullish. So wrapping up real quickly, again, gold back in the descending triangle. That's the most important chart for me at the moment. Today was very notable as well. Metals appeared to be inversely correlated to equities, and they were flat while DXY was going down today, which was very odd in my opinion. And again, a little bit of a red flag and that's why I kind of anticipated this sell the news event with the stimulus, is because metals weren't really going up and Bitcoin was going up, kind of doing its own thing, but metals weren't really going up. Gold and silver were kind of, just flat. And that gave me a heads up that we could potentially see a sell the news event. And that's exactly what happened into the end of the day. You can see I bet you a lot of people were caught off guard when they saw that SPY and QQQ were trending down, and Netflix certainly not helping after hours here either. But we'll take a look here at Netflix in just a second. I just want to see if there's anything else I want to highlight. US oil saw a nice bounce today on the stimulus hopes and economic recovery. Just looking for an hourly higher low, hourly consolidation. We saw that Canadian MJ pulled back after a huge day yesterday, so just some healthy consolidation. A lot of people were asking what's up with MJ today, but again, just a huge move, looking for some healthy consolidation, and we could potentially be setting an hourly downtrend here. Most important support on CGC is 1861. But other than that, truly sold into the end of the day. Not really much from Harvest was up almost 10%. That was notable. So that was a notable mover for me today. And Namaste was up quite a bit today as well. We saw Namaste was up 26%, 31.5. So congrats to the bulls there. Oxley continuing its ascent into the heavens and up another 5% today at close at 34.5 cents. So definitely seeing some momentum pick up in the cannabis space as well. Thought I'd highlight that for you guys real quick. So we'll take a look at Netflix and Snap, and then we'll close it off. So again, missed on subscribers, missed on EPS, beat on revenue, but we saw a huge nasty drop. So we closed at 525 and we saw a drop of about 7-8%, give or take. And this could still potentially be a 5-minute bear flag. We'll have to keep monitoring this into the overnight sessions and into the morning as well, but definitely not surprising in my opinion. We did see quite a bit of sell volume there into the end of the day. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Did we do any real damage there? So we do have increasing sell volume on the daily and could potentially be setting up for a head and shoulders with a neckline around, say, this level, so around the $500 level. So we'll see if we bottom out around that level tomorrow, and we're currently at 500, so that would line up quite well 497, so we're under. So we'd like to see a bounce soon if we're going to form that right shoulder. And if we don't, then we could potentially see a lot more downside with the last daily higher low all the way down here at 467. So not looking good for Netflix. Like I said, increasing sell volume. How do we know when the daily higher low is set? And we can look for the bounce of that potential right shoulder. We'll look for the hourly trend change. So hourly trend change will be most important on Netflix tomorrow. That's pretty much all I wanted to highlight. We'll take a look at the weekly real quick. So just looking for a weekly higher low as well. We had a higher low every single candle for 4 weeks. So this could potentially still be a weekly bull flag as well. So keep that in mind. We do have the RSI trending downwards. Let's take a look at the monthly real quick. Monthly, higher low every candle for 5 months. We did have a brief, so that could be a monthly bull flag as well. But we do have bearish divergence on the RSI. You can see that the RSI is trending down, lower, it's gaining lower and lower with lower highs and lower lows, while the price is trending up with higher lows and higher highs. So lower highs, lower lows, higher lows, higher highs. So that's a bearish indicator for me. And let's just take a look at Netflix over here as well. On stock charts. So we are bullish on the stochastic. We're above the 10-week moving average, and we're looking to cross bullish on the MACD. But after this report, I highly doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. So definitely want to see us hold the 500 level tomorrow into regular trading hours. I'm not going to consider that a fail just yet. So we'll take a look at the daily chart as well. So we do have the 50-day moving average down at 505. So we are below that. We'll look to 489 as the next potential support as the 100-day moving average. And the MACD crossing bearish, was crossing bearish into the end of the day, and will definitely be crossing bearish now if we were able to factor in overnight trading. And just briefly, I'll bring up Snap here as well. So Snap, like I said, had a positive reaction after. So we saw that it was up on a revenue beat and higher Q3 results that top estimates. So just taking a quick look. Non-GAAP net income of 0.01 per share compared to a loss of 0.04. So that was a beat. And company revenue rose on the year to 678 million from 446 million was expected. Daily active users were 249 million in Q3, an increase of 39 million of 18% year over year. So some impressive numbers there from Snap. Let's just take a look at some of the time frames. So could be a monthly bull flag here on, looks like it is trying to confirm a monthly bull flag on Snap, but no real support level. We do have EMA 12 here around the $20 level, 2088. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. So we are in a weekly uptrend. So we did set a higher low and higher high, but we haven't formed a weekly higher low in a little while. We do have a mini one here at 2320 and 2306. So 2306, most important short-term support on the weekly chart. But anything above that, just looking for a healthy higher low on the weekly. Daily chart in an uptrend. So most important daily support is going to be 2669. And we'll also look to EMA 12 support as well at 2744 on any daily consolidation. But like I said, huge move after hours. That is a massive, massive candle. And we are extremely overbought at the moment with RSI reaching in the mid 80s. So like I said, we'll keep watching for any clues on the daily time frame. And if we do pull back tomorrow, we'll just be looking for a potential 5-minute oversold. So we can look to potentially enter on a 5-minute back burner trade as we have generally done in the past. Generally, when you see huge moves up, first 5-minute oversold, 15-minute oversold, hourly oversold are going to be juicy trades, and that'll be on my watch list tomorrow as well. So like to see as much as a push up and potentially see some consolidation and look to enter on 5-minute oversold. And it's all going to depend on the overall market with SPY and the broader markets tomorrow as well. So with that, in summary, again, just a reminder, the debate is Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be the final debate with Trump and Biden. And you'll be happy to know that they'll be muted, and we won't have a repeat of a childish drama TV show that we saw last time. So again, could be a sell the news event on the stimulus, and we'll like to see more follow through from the bears tomorrow to be confident of that. We do have more earnings set for the rest of the week, so just pulling up the earnings calendar here. So again, we have Winnebago. So Winnebago is going to be a good one in my opinion because of all of the, I heard there was record number of RVs being sold and people going camping. There's not really much else to do. So that'll be pre-market. That'll be one I'll be watching. We have Verizon and the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ probably see a boost in trading activity and profit if I were to make a prediction there. Tesla going to be the most important tomorrow as well. And Chipotle Mexican Grill is another huge one. So all eyes on Tesla tomorrow after the bell. And we have a lot more earnings scheduled for next week. So make sure you have a plan. If you are playing earnings, make sure to set a stop loss and just know that it can always get worse, and make sure that if you are unsure that you reach out for help, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in a trade and then just, getting analysis paralysis and just sitting there and not doing anything. And that's generally what most people tend to do when they get into a position that they don't know how to get out of. So consider joining us. You can check us out at pursuitofwealthgroup.com or powgroup.ca, and you can check out our memberships. We also have a 1-week free trial. You can join our community of a bunch of different analysts that we continuously trade ideas and bounce trade setups off each other every day. And we do answer questions on YouTube and via email, but those are kind of back burner to the Slack community. So if you do want real-time answers and market video updates on any analysis for any tickers, consider joining us on the 1-week free trial. You got nothing to lose and no credit card required. So again, it's Rod with Pow Group. Have yourself a great night. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and tune in tomorrow for another daily market update. Take care, everyone.